Morning, respected chairpersons and my dear colleagues. I am Dr. Nilesh, pediatric surgeon from Surat, Gujarat. Since last 3.5 days, we are talking about medical issues. Now let's discuss something about medical legal. As we all know that, the medical field or the health professional field is inherently, a high-risk field. Sometimes things do not go the way we actually wanted, and mishaps happens. So, doesn't matter how much skilled we are, but the complications are bound to happen. Complications are part and parcel of surgery. So, in such cases, when the litigation is made against the doctors, and we have the indemnity insurance, then it can be a big difference between the financial stability and the catastrophic losses. If we look at the few of the medical negligence cases where the High Court or the Supreme Court has asked the doctor or the hospital to pay the compensation to the plaintiff or the parents, like we have 7 or 8 cases. Like in this case, Kunal Saha versus Ambri Hospital, the 11 CR has been asked by the court to, doctors to pay to the patients. In NIMS College, 1 CR. Balram Prasad versus Kunal Saha, 6 crore. V. Krishna Kumar versus State of Tamil Nadu, 1.38 crore. Against the Max Super Specialty Hospital, 1 crore. Against the Fortis Hospital, 2 crore. Against the Sir Gangaram Hospital in 2022, 1.5 CR. So, if you look at the compensation amount, it is too high. If a pediatric surgeon has worked for 30 to 40 years, still, this amount is very high, to give the compensation to the parents actually. So, and imagine what would happen to a young pediatric surgeon who is in the early career of his pediatric surgery. This amount can put a lot of stress, not only on himself, but also on his family. That is why we need to, get ourselves insured with the indemnity insurance. So it is nothing but a kind of professional liability insurance that protects the healthcare professionals against the claims of the medical negligence or a kind of malpractice. And it provides the financial protections to healthcare professions. It does not, it not only covers the compensation part, but sometimes it also covers the legal cost when the claim is made against the doctor and then it is going to be fought again in the court. Then all the cost of legal procedures also will be covered by the insurance company. So it kind of provides a kind of financial stability. Like discussed earlier, what are the importance of the getting the insurance? First of all, if you look at the VP Santa versus Indian Medical Association landmark judgment case, where the Supreme Court has put the medical fraternity under the Consumer Protection Act. So we are actually the service providers and the patients is a consumer. So if the patient is not happy with the services which we are providing to the patients, they can claim for the compensation which Supreme Court has decided. So because of that, after that particular landmark judgment case, there are so many cases of the litigation has been made against the doctor or the hospital, So because of that, we need to again, secure ourselves with the insurance, And, the lawsuit can be because of the incorrect diagnosis or the surgical errors or sometimes the prescriptions errors, and it will be covered by the indemnity insurance. Basically, it is a peace of mind when we have the insurance in our pocket. We can peacefully, do our practice, keeping in mind that, if something goes wrong, there is something, to take care of our financial losses. And because of these consumer protections, there are so many adverse effects on the healthcare professions. There are a few adverse effects which we'll discuss. The first thing is mutual paranoia and the mistrust. Like in this case, Suresh Gupta versus Government of NCT of Delhi, patient died during the surgery, and then the case was filed against Dr. Suresh Gupta. And it went very long in the court, and then ultimately after so many years, it was decided that the doctor is not found guilty. So, because of these years, it put a lot of stress on the doctors and his family. So, it is one of the adverse effect of this Consumer Protection Act. Defensive medicines, when we look at the litigations are being made against the doctor, nowadays we try to be more defensive. We try to do investigate our patients, blood investigations, CTs and MRIs. So ultimately it increase the cost of the treatment. But because of these litigations, we try to be more defensive. That is why that is also one of the adverse effect of the consumer protections. Many of the young surgeons are not taking the challenging cases in their hands. The complicated cases or the complex cases are being referred to to the higher centers, just because they don't want to be get some kind of litigation cases against them. So it is one of the adverse effect. As said earlier, it increased the tremendous amount of stress on the doctors. Burnout, early retirement, and the suicide. The Dr. Archana Sharma recently, 2 years back, she was a gynecologist in the rural part of Rajasthan, and during the childbirth, one of her patients died, and the FIR was filed against her. It was supported by the local politicians and the police, and it created so much pressure on her. Then after 3 or 4 days, she took her life by doing suicide. So sometimes such kind of litigations, when the person is too sensitive or oversensitive, he or she cannot cope up with such kind of stress of medical negligence, because of, after the cases, the reputation will be affected also. So, it can lead to a kind of burnout or the suicidal tendency amongst the healthcare providers. The psychiatric illness and the alcoholisms. So in the Mumbai, several doctors have confirmed that because of this increased litigations, many of them are feeling stress and depressions, and among them, the substance abuse has also increased, like what the survey says in Mumbai. The divorces and the strain on the family life. The survey was done by IMA, and in which 56% of the doctors said that, they are feeling some kind of stress because of all these medical negligence cases. And many of them have also, accepted that some marriages are ending in divorces also. So yes, it also increased the divorce and the strain on the family life. And the shortened life expectancy. Like in this case, Dr. Amit Bhargava, a cardiologist from New Delhi, one of his patients died, during the treatment, and then the case was filed against him. It took a long time in the court to prove whether he is guilty or not. But during that particular court procedure, he had severe heart attack and he lost his life at the age of 52. So yes, because of all this stress, the people are losing their life very early. So these are all these adverse effect of the increased litigations among the healthcare providers. That is why we need to secure ourselves with the indemnity insurance. And the last thing is violence against doctors. As we all know, daily kind of physical or verbal abuse are being made against the doctors or the healthcare providers in the hospitals. So this is why we need to take the indemnity insurance. So, and if you look at the type of indemnity insurance, it can be individual or it can be a group or institution. A particular hospital can also take the insurance for its healthcare providers. And hospital can also itself take the indemnity insurance, because many times a patient also files case not only against the doctors but also against the hospital. They can find two cases simultaneously. So hospital also needs to be insured with the indemnity. And mainly there are two types of the insurance: occurrence based and the claim based. What is occurrence based? For example, if I have taken the insurance in 2024 and I have done surgery in 2024, but the patient is filing case against me in 2026. So if I have taken the occurrence based policy, then it would be covered by that particular insurance company. In claim based insurance, if I operated patient in 2024 and the insurance also taken in the 2024, in the same year the case should be filed. If the case is filed the next year, then that particular insurance company will not give us the compensations. So these are the kinds of insurance we need to take care when we are choosing this insurance company for our insurance. As said earlier, they not only provide the compensation, but they also provide the legal procedure cost. Sometimes, we need to make it customized with that particular insurance company. We can ask for them to add the legal cost in the insurance. We can also ask them to, provide the advocates or the legal experts during our medical negligence case. So that can be customized. the compensation payment and then the premium amount. Some of the insurance company also do kind of a public relation management. So they try to maintain the image of that particular doctor during that particular court procedure of medical negligence. What are the things that excluded from the insurance? If we have done something intentionally wrong to the patients, or we have done some kind of criminal act, like for example, organ trafficking, so that is actually illegal. So if you are found guilty, the insurance company will not give us any kind of benefit because we are doing illegal things. And if the compensation amount is beyond the coverage limit, like for example, if we have taken the insurance of 1 CR and the court is asking us to pay 2 CR, then 1 CR extra we'll have to pay from our own pocket. So select, the insurance as per the need actually. Initially, there was geographic limitations when, suppose I have taken the insurance from Gujarat and I'm practicing in the other states, there were some limitations, but now it is a pan-India, so it is not going to affect our insurance policy. So basically, the insurance, the consumer protection is also giving us the legal and the ethical responsibility to take care of our patients very carefully. Now, what are the factors? This is the last slide. What are the factors to consider when we are choosing indemnity insurance? Number one, I said earlier, we'll have to select the coverage cost. And number two, as per the coverage cost, the insurance company will provide us the premium amount. The most important thing is before selecting the insurance company is we need to check the history of that particular insurance company. The most important thing is claim settlement ratio. If that particular insurance company is having good claim settlement, because many times, after taking the insurance from the particular company, they do not provide the 100% compensation. They just provide 50 to 60%, and remaining we'll have to pay it from our own pocket. So select those insurance company which has good claim settlement ratio. And accordingly, our terms and conditions, we can make it customized with the insurance company. And before you sign the insurance with that particular company, you need to read each and every words and sentence of that particular policy, and then we should sign the policy, because we don't know, what is written there in the policy, and later on we can be in trouble with that particular insurance company. So thank you so much. I would stop myself here. Thanks for patient listening.
That was a very elaborate lecture by Dr. Nilesh. And I wonder how many of you in the audience, although very few people there, sketchy audience, are aware about indemnity insurance. I'm sure you are aware also, but what are the specifics of indemnity that you have to all learn? From my experience, the bottom line I can tell you, those of you who are into private practice like me, I'm totally into private practice. Bottom line is, if you make a complication, you pay for it. Whether you pay directly or through the courts is a matter of, how the other party is taking it. So that Damocles sword is always hanging on our heads, and we are always under pressure to work in the most ethical and proper ways so that we avoid complications. The best is to avoid a complication, to avoid a litigation. The second point I want to make is, whenever you have a patient, whether in an institute where you are a resident or you are a consultant, a head of department, we must ensure that we have the communication channels with the parents of the child, or if it's a big patient, with the patient himself, open all the times. So you have to be a little more talkative than you may be otherwise. So that you win the confidence of the patient, and even if there's a problem, you are able to explain in the most humane ways to the patient that, okay, this problem has come up and we are going to fix it like this. But if your communication channels are not open with the patient and you suddenly drop a bomb that, oh, tumhara to ye ho gaya, then likely chances are that he will not take it sportingly and he will go the other way, which we don't want him to go. And then choosing the best indemnity, of course, the indemnity insurance companies are there. They will explain to you the features. You have to do the due diligence before you choose a particular insurer that, okay, this is it. They are actually brokers in between who are offering you all the discounts and everything. So don't go necessarily for the lowest premium insurance. Go for the things which they offer you, that free legal advice and whatever they're offering, that you can weigh according to the premium. Even if it's charging high premium and you want to practice, that should not bother you, because that's eventually going to be deducted from your expenses, from your income tax. So don't hesitate in paying a little more premium if you are getting a better service. And you must always ensure that in times of need, that insurance company doesn't run away or the broker doesn't let you down. He fulfills the promise, and that will you can ensure by asking his references, that in which cases he has been helpful. And there is a group also in WhatsApp that we have about insurance also. People keep on discussing, and be in touch with the agent that comes to you, so that whenever the need arises. Before the insurance comes, your personal safety is more important. Your life and your limb and your property. Because unruly attendants can destroy that. For that, you have to make arrangements that you are well protected in your premises. Your premises is protected, and you then make a group in your city, small groups, and hire some bouncers also, just in case one person falls victim to a violent incident. The others will learn from that, and they should also be prepared, because one day you are going to be down. That, take it from me, if you are practicing, one day you will face a problem, and you can learn a lot of lessons then, or you can be prepared beforehand and protect yourself and everything by listening to these talks and learning from others' experience. Thank you.
Sir, adding to your second point, we should have proper communication with the parents. Actually, Supreme Court is not asking us to be highly skilled or, or highly knowledge. They just want us to be reasonably careful with our patients. So, like, for example, if you are not explaining our complications to our patients before surgery and something goes wrong, and then we would be held liable because we have not explained anything to the patients. So we need to teach, or rather explain everything about the surgery or the complications, the perioperative complication and the postoperative complication to the patients, and something goes wrong, then Supreme Court will not going to blame us. But if we are hiding something to the patients and something goes wrong, then we would be held liable. Yes, sir, I agree with your point, sir.
I think I am giving perspective here as an outsider. I work in the UK as an NHS consultant, and I've been in the UK for the last 28 years. In UK, it is now mandatory for every doctor to have medical indemnity insurance, without which your medical council registration is not renewed. Now, this applies to NHS consultants who are primarily government employees, because all NHS hospitals are government hospitals, and there is a institutional indemnity which covers you. However, you still require personal indemnity, because not everything can be covered by institutional indemnity. Even simple things, you share a clinical picture of your patient with a colleague, you are in a breach of duty, and you can be sued for that, and your institute will not stand for you, because this is what you did in a personal capacity. People get very, as you said, from your examples, there is a lot of stress involved. There can be problems with your family. Remember, we are humans. We make mistakes. It will be difficult for me to, believe somebody if they say they have never made a mistake in their life. It is what our profession is about. We are not mechanics. We are not plumbers. We are dealing with human body, and mistakes can happen. And so long as the patient understands that, and that's where what Dr. Miglani said is about communication. That is where, because ultimately somebody who sues you, it shows a lack of trust. And this factor of the patient-doctor trust is now going down, and probably because of social media, Google diagnosis and everything. But that trust requires you to invest more time in talking with your patient, not only before surgery, during surgery, in the post-operative period, in the follow-up period. Because if your communication is good, then the patient will. I mean, I have seen examples of surgeons who have horrendous complications, yet their patients will say, the doctor was so good, he spotted the complication and he treated it correctly. We understand that complications can happen. At the same time, if you did say a laparoscopic cholecystectomy and there was a biliary leak, now that is considered as an accepted complication. But if it went to court, the court will award damages to the patient. That does not mean you are wrong. That does not mean somebody is accusing you. Remember that. It is the patient's right to have an expectation that when I go to the hospital, I will get the treatment I need and I will come out unscathed. And if that expectation is not fulfilled, they have a right to go to the court against it. Your insurer will pay out, but it means that you don't have the hassle of going through all of that. They will help you prepare a witness statement. They will help you give a legal team. And they will do everything for you. It does not mean that I'm going to be depressed. Oh my God, my insurance company had to pay out that much. Well, you are paying your insurance for that. It's same as having a car insurance, you know. So this insurance is essential for everyone, for your peace of mind. But not only that, remember, most of the cases will not go to court in UK. They're all settled outside the court. And I am the head of service for entire East Midlands. I'm part of the risk management team, and I have regular contacts with the legal team. Most of the time, my legal team will say, if we give X amount of money to the patient now, it is settled. If it goes through the court, it will take long time. We may pay more. By settling is not saying that I am accepting liability. It just means that we have decided to settle this. And remember, you can make 10 complications, but not all 10 of them are going to sue you. Only one may sue you. But for that one person suing you, if you've got adequate insurance, then you have the peace of mind. So I think it is underestimated what is the importance of medical indemnity. And I urge every one of you to invest in it. When you look at how much I pay for my medical insurance, you'll be surprised, but it's also something you can get tax rebate from. But at the end of the day, I don't want to hassle. And so it is money well spent.
I have a question for the chairperson, actually.
Any question from the person?
I have a question for the chairpersons. Nowadays, the doctors prefer out of the court settlement. What is your advice on this, actually? Out of the court settlement. They don't want to go into this legal procedure. They just want to get it, settled, out of the court.
So what I'm saying is, if you have got a medical insurance for yourself, you let them deal with it. Okay? You write a statement. This is what happened. The medical insurance team will have a legal team. They will process through all of that. They will look at what are the chances of winning or defending or not. And if the chance is small, or even the chance is 50-50, they will still go for settlement. And this settlement is not done by you. You are not involved in it at all. It's all you have done is write a report. And they will also help you in how to write a report. The other important reason for having medical insurance is, for example, if you have and this happened with me, a patient was stabbed, came to the hospital. This was a teenager who was stabbed, and he came to the hospital. He was stabbed in the chest and abdomen. He had traumatic injury to his lungs, and the stab had gone through the chest, through the diaphragm, and cut through the spleen and the kidney. And the patient eventually died of hemorrhage. In court, I went as an expert witness, and the defense was trying to put the onus not on the accused, but saying that this is medical negligence. That's why he died. And this can happen with you. And for a surgeon to stand in the court, it's also a daunting procedure. Your insurer will also help you with that. I don't know about here, but my insurance team helped me with that. They helped me prepare how to answer, what will the defense ask you. So all of these things are important.
I just wanted to, before conclusion, all youngsters should know that the days have been changing. The doctor is God and is almighty and no question of going to court or anything. Till 1986, we were not brought under the court regulations. We had our own autonomous association regulations. Since then, as he has rightly pointed out, but in Indian scenario, it's slightly different. I don't think all insurances are. The problem whenever a doctor appears in a court, that defending lawyer or suing lawyer will question you, answer to me yes or no. Say for his own case, if I take an example, if I am defending him, I will ask, he says bleeding will kill or not? You will say yes, certainly. So like that, they will trap you. So that is where you must have an expert legal advice through any source. And two things you must help, because the lawyer can defend you if you have your communication skill at the top and you have been discussing with them at all stages, pre-operative, post-operative or complication setting in and all. He will have little sort of a faith in you and will not go for court and whatnot. That is one. Number two, documentation. If you are treating a patient, inpatient or something, the document will be produced as one of the evidence in the court which is accepted. So all youngsters should remember your communication skills should be at the top and all the time available to the patient or relation. Number two is documentation. If you do this, you are helping the insurance company also. I mean, it is easily said you insure. You 2 times if they have paid for your negligence or any other court decision, quite naturally your premium will skyrocket. Please remember that. So to avoid all this, be careful.
Just to conclude, document all your complications meticulously. Don't hide them completely. If it has happened, some CBD injury has happened, some bleeding has happened, excessive bleeding has happened, write it in the file honestly, because that's going to save you. Otherwise, if you have not mentioned anything and something has happened because of that thing you wanted to hide, then you are in big trouble. So never hide your complications. I have been saved myself several times because I write the notes there and then and write them honestly. So it's a savior. It's not a disgrace to have a complication, Anybody can have. So that's what I want. And secondly, never rely upon the lawyers. Do your writing. If somebody has sued against you, God forbids, do your own diligence, sit with the lawyer and help him draft your defense. If you rely purely upon him, they know nothing about medicine. They don't even know ABCD. Also the judges. I think we are running short of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.